I'm Chris from Redmen TV. Do us a favour, do yourself a favour, and subscribe to the Liverpool Connection podcast. Do it. Do it now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is a story podcast where we bring on guests to tell their Liverpool stories. I'm on me Todd today. I'm Daz, if you didn't know already. But today we've got former Liverpool goalkeeper Chris KIRKLAND. Hiya Chris, thanks for coming.
Good afternoon for you, innit? Afternoon out there.
It is. It's still pretty early, but it's the first day in a long time where we've actually seen the sun. So it's nice. Yeah. But it's from now on up until probably next Christmas time. It's just going to get hotter and hotter. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure I could handle that, mate, to be honest.
Yeah. It's tough. It's like everyone walks around with just like flip flops and shorts on, and maybe a suit and tie. It's a bit dark.
Not great in the heat, mate. Not great in the heat.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I stay inside and put the air conditioner on and crank it, And when I go outside, I just sweat like crazy. Yeah. But let's get cracking on to it.
Yeah.
I don't think that many people, especially over here, I mean, obviously they know you as a former Liverpool goalkeeper. They really don't know that you are actually a Liverpool supporter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, used to stand on the Kop as a kid. So my first game was when I was 7. Back in 1988, yeah. So to stand on the Kop as a kid with my dad, and then to obviously sign for the club you support, it's the old saying, dream come true, but it really was for me.
Do you remember your first match?
Yeah, Forest, Nottingham Forest, it was 5-2 or something like that. But I just remember my dad used to stand me in front of, the white railings that used to be in the Kop, the white. So he used to stand me in front of one of them, but I used to sit on it, sort of thing. So I had a great spot in the Kop. And yeah, we used to come up, so we used to get the bus up from Hinckley, Leicestershire. All my family were Leicester, but I seen the red candy kit when I was a kid and was hooked on it and hooked on Liverpool. And we used to get the bus up from Hinckley about 6-7 hours, watch the game, and then get home about midnight. But it was the best days ever. And yeah, very lucky to then obviously go on and sign for them, and now to still work for the club and, to watch games at Anfield with my daughter and my wife, and that is really special.
Because I know a lot of people, have not been to Anfield, but you always remember your first time. The smell of the grass, the walk up to the ground.
Yeah.
There's just something.
Yeah, still. Yeah, there's something special about Anfield, and I still get that now.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the games now, it's still, it's a special feeling. And every time I take my seat for the game, I always look to where I used to stand as a kid. So I do that every single game. You can see my dad standing behind me. So yeah, it's as I said, to still get to do that now, and to do that with my daughter and take her the games it is even more special.
So how was it like? Growing up, were you always a goalie?
No, I was outfield. I'm never any good. Just love playing football, love playing golf, love playing cricket, tennis, any sport really. But I was an outfield, always on the bench because I wasn't great. And then the goalkeeper got injured when I was about 13 and a half. The keeper got injured, and because I was the only one on the bench as an outfielder, I had to go in goal and made a few saves, and the rest is history, as I say, and stuck at it. And so I was quite a late developer, real late developer, really. And then things took off from probably 15 to 16. I got in the county side and got noticed, and then signed for Blaby and Weston in Leicester, which was the best Sunday league team sort of thing. You signed for them, you're doing something right. And then signed for Coventry schoolboy forms when I was 16. And then again from there, 16 to making my debut at 18, things just progressed really, really quickly. And then obviously the Liverpool move not long after.
So who was the person that gave you the nickname Bambi?
Gordon Strachan. Yeah, Gordon Strachan. I was, to be fair. I mean, I and this is the truth, I actually couldn't kick the ball out of the 18-yard box until I was about 16 and a half. I had no strength in my legs, could not lift the ball up off the floor. then obviously then you start to fill into your body. But yeah, it was Gordon that called us out. I think he was just trying to take some of the pressure off us, obviously, because there was talk about us when I was 16, 17 about this lad will make his debut soon for the first team, and I think he was just trying that. That was the way Gordon was. He always tried to take the pressure off you.
Well, it's a bit mental, you say at 17 and then at 20, you're going to Liverpool. I mean, that's just three quick years. Yeah, really quick. I made my debut when I was 18 against Tranmere, against John Achterberg, actually. So John Achterberg was in the Tranmere goal. So, yeah, come on at half-time for Magnus. He got injured. I'll come on. That was my debut. And then I made my debut against Spurs at the weekend. We won 2-1 for Coventry. And, yeah, things just progressed from there. We got relegated that season, unfortunately, at Aston Villa. And then, obviously, players get sold and stuff like that. And, I was told probably a few months before that Liverpool want you. Don't sign for anyone else, because there was a lot of clubs circling at the time. And obviously, I wouldn't have signed for anyone else apart from Liverpool anyway. But you still think, well, that's now. There's still 4 or 5 months yet till the window opens. And so you're thinking, it's probably not going to happen. But I was getting calls every couple of weeks off Gary McAllister, who was at Liverpool. And I was at Coventry with him, and he was saying, look, we're going to sign you. Just don't sign for anyone else. And he's going to sign you on be ready, transfer deadline day, the day before transfer deadline day, be ready to come to Liverpool. And that's exactly the way it worked. And Gordon Strachan popped. I was actually in a meeting at Coventry with the youth team, so I was still involved with the youth team. And that's a reminder to come on your Zoom. I was still involved with a fire and safety meeting at Highfield Road, and then Gordon Strachan popped his head round the corner in the room, and I just knew what it was straight away. And he just said, Kirky, need you for a sec, and told me about the move, told me about the bid. And yeah, it was daunting because I was still young and loved being at home. I like home comforts, and thought of moving up to Liverpool and big city and the history of the club and everything. But it was made easy because I had my girlfriend and my wife now. So we've been together since I was 18. So for her to move up with us made it a lot easier. I think it could have been a lot more difficult, because we see sometimes when lads go to to London or to Manchester and they're on their own, they can get caught in all the trappings of outside of football. So I was very lucky that I had a good girl with me. Still have to this day. Well, is it true that you didn't even know you were a British transfer for a goalkeeper for $6 million? No, you're not involved. I wasn't involved with the negotiations. That's left to all your agents. I just said, listen, it's Liverpool. I'm signing, so I just sort the deal out. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know how much I'd signed. But wages-wise, I didn't know what I was going to earn until the contract was signed. I didn't ask any of that because, listen, you sign it for Liverpool and they're going to look after you. And, I wasn't the sort of person who said, well, I want this much to sign for it. This is, a team that I stood on the cop and supported. And as I said, Liverpool have always been renowned for doing business. That's what my agent said. They said, listen, they're not going to mess us around. The deal will be what it's going to be. And it'll be fair because it's Liverpool Football Club. So, yeah, I didn't have to worry about any of that. And, yeah, didn't even know what I was earning or whatever until until my agent told me after when I'd signed the contract. Yeah, because I know Dudek came at the same time as you, didn't he? Yeah, knew about it. Yeah, a lot of people said that you did. You must not have knew, but I did. Gerard rang and said, "Look, we're signing 2. We're signing you both. Jersey's going to start. You're going to come in, learn from him, learn from the players, and when you're ready, you'll play." And he was true to his word. It's just unfortunate when I did play, I got serious injuries more or less every time, which knocked the stuffing out of us. But it is what it is, and I look back now, and I'd have done it all again just for one game. To play for the team you support as a kid and stand on the cop and the terrace you supporting that team, and then to play for them, nothing will ever beat that ever. How was your first game? Were you just nervous? No. You're not when you're not when you're younger. I was 19, 20. You're not bothered. You don't think of you just want to play. I wanted to train. I wanted to play. I loved going into the training ground, Melwood. I was probably the last to leave every day. I just loved it. Loved the whole thing. And, training with some amazing players. And my game here was against Grimsby. And it was just heading to penalties. So it was in the 119th minute of extra time. And I was thinking, oh, my God, penalties debut in front of the cop. This is again, what dreams are made of. But then Phil Jevons popped up from 35 yards and scored the best goal I've ever conceded. But yeah, it was. I just couldn't wait to make it debut and all the family being there and my girlfriend, and
you know, again, when I come out, I just remember looking to the right. When you run out to the cop for the warm-up, I used to just look over where I used to stand as a kid, and I could see myself standing there.
Oh, wow. So was there a good, like, healthy relationship between you and Jersey?
Oh, yeah. We used to room together.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, he used to pay the bill. So, I like Jersey. He used to pay the room bill. So, yeah, he looked after. He was a great bloke, incredible keeper. I must admit that when I've seen him train, and after a few months, I'm thinking, Jesus, I'm not going to get in here. This bloke is unreal. And he was just incredible. And then it was the Man U game, obviously, at home where he made a mistake. And you know, that sort of set him back a little bit after that. So I got my chance here and there and stuff. But again, it was just, I got serious injuries when I did get the chance.
How many, you know, because I've seen the back injuries, you know, the broken fingers, and then the Kevin Davies.
That one.
Yeah. Well, and was it your liver?
Kidneys, yeah.
Kidneys, yeah. I mean, how many injuries have you had throughout?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at Liverpool, I mean, when I left Liverpool, my appearance record and fitness records was as good as anybody's in the game. You know, I went to Wigan, played every game for 4 or 5 years. Last 2 years at Wigan, I wasn't preferred. Another goalkeeper was preferred, but I was fit. Went to Sheffield Wednesday, played every game for 2 years. So, yeah, when I was at Liverpool, though, I mean, I broke my wrist, did my PCL, my cruciate, did my back, obviously, was, you know, that was just, we were playing a game of leapfrog as a warm-up, and one of the players pushed down on my back, leaping over me, and that caused the back issue. Yeah, so something as simple as that. But, you know, the Daily Ebola one was a collision with a knee. My knee exploded. So, you know, but people say, yeah, you're always injury prone. Now, injury prone to me is where you keep pulling the same muscle, or, you know, it's the same calf muscle, same hamstring muscle, say, oh, there's injury for that. You know, mine were unlucky collisions that could have happened to anybody. And so, yeah, but it was just unfortunate that every time I did get in and got a run and got my form, I'd be set back by a serious injury.
It seems Kevin Davies was your nemesis.
Yeah, he was caught us a few times, Kev. Yeah, he's a big boy. You don't want to get hit by him.
No chance. So how was it working with Houllier? Because especially, you know, because you were also there with Rafa, and Rafa's man management wasn't, well, it's non-existent there.
Yeah, chalk and cheese.
To Houlier's.
Yeah, chalk and cheese. I mean, when I signed for the club, Liverpool, it was actually international weekend. So Gerrard was back in France, and he wasn't due back in till the Monday or the Sunday. And Phil Thompson picked us up, the physio, and said, "Oh, we've got a surprise for you." Went to the airport, and it was Gerard Houllier. He'd come back a day early just to make sure we settled in and signed and stuff like that. So that just showed the magnitude of the man and the person he was. He was just, you could go and see him about anything. He'd always put it on, mate. He always knew what to say at the right time. His team talks were mesmerising at times. You know, you used to love a team talk off him. And then obviously Rafa was completely the opposite. It was, you know, Gerard liked you to be settled off the pitch because he knew you'd be, so he's always interested how your family was. Is anything we can do for your girlfriend, your wives, if you have wives, your kids, is everybody okay? You know, so he was very family orientated, but Rafa was completely different. He was football, football, football. And if you weren't concentrating on football, then you wouldn't play. Simple as that.
Was it more like, I've heard stories where Rafa would be more wanting you to be single? Not yourself, but like most players just don't get married until later on. We
had that at Wigan as well with Roberto Martinez. So his first meeting at Wigan, when he come into Wigan, bearing in mind we were 17th in the league at the time when he come in, was right up, you know, you're a top 6 team, which was baffling, you know, because we knew we weren't. And the second thing Roberto said was, who's got kids? Put your hands up if you've got kids in this. So Arthur's had kids. So we put our hands up. He says, yeah, you shouldn't have kids really until the latter part of your career because you need to concentrate on your football and stuff like that. So obviously that went down ridiculously. And so straight away lost all respect for him for saying that. But yeah, Rafa, I mean, I can't remember Rafa saying directly that, but wouldn't surprise me. Some of the lads have said that, yeah, because he was, as I said, it was 24/7 football. If you had a personal issue, you knew it was a waste of time going to go and see him.
Yeah, because I mean, you listen to like with Klopp as well. He's more like family orientated.
Oh,
He's like, but if you've got a good core family, then you're gonna be happy when
exactly.
you're pitch.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? But as I said, whether it's, I don't know, obviously Rafa being Spanish and Roberto, I don't know that, you'll have to ask them that question. But it certainly didn't go down very well with a lot of the players when Roberto said that to us.
Yeah, that's a bit mental to me. I mean,
yeah.
I've got 4 little ones, and I can't imagine somebody telling me like, you shouldn't have had them. Yeah,
that's what he said to us.
I mean, it's one way you just go, all right, I'm go look for another job now.
Well, you say that to a change room of lads, and straight away you lost the lads straight away.
Yeah,
half has had families and kids, and we all used to socialise together on Sundays and roast dinners and all that. So for a manager to say that in his first meeting when he's just come in as manager, it didn't go down well.
I mean, it's got to be tough for you, playing for your boyhood team and then getting, the injuries and missing out, on the cup final.
Yeah, it's big. I look back now, and regret's a strong word, but I wish it was different. Don't get me wrong. I wish I should have made a lot more appearances for Liverpool, but it didn't happen. But like I said, I made over 50, and if you'd have said that when I was a kid, you'll make 50 appearances for Liverpool, then you'd just snap their hands off at that, wouldn't you? But listen, it's hard to look back and think, I could have made a lot more appearances for Liverpool, but that's the way it is. I've still got to make over 50, and I'll be forever grateful for that. Yeah,
I mean, putting on that shirt with the Liver Bird on it. I mean, I've always said, like, I've had many guests on here that have only had like, one appearance, and I'm like, but you got to run out at Anfield. Yeah. You got to wear a famous red jersey. I mean, that's millions of kids, growing up for me, poster boy, Barnsley and stuff. You go outside and you play and you pick a player, and it's just one of those. You got to live that dream for a short while.
And I still am now. Like, when I first watched, obviously you mentioned there, Barnsley, Rushy, Dagley. I used to watch them from the stands, and now to be doing work with them through the club, match day stuff. It's, as I said, I'm working with players I used to stand on the cop and watch as a kid. So it's amazing how it comes around.
You're still pinching yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm an ex-player, but I'm a fan now. I'll go to the games as a fan, not as an ex-player with the work and stuff. But when I'm watching the game, I'm a Liverpool fan first and foremost, which is amazing.
Now the Champions League final, because I know you're mates with Mellor. He wasn't in that squad. I don't believe, and obviously, you weren't because of their injury. But I love his story where he got onto the pitch somehow with Morientes, right?
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, he blagged his way on the pitch. And did he get a medal?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
The stories Rafa took a lot of the medals and gave them to all his backroom staff and people that weren't there on the day. But so I never got one. But I get asked this, and when you don't play in a final, you can play in every game before it, semi-final, whatever. That final's a unique game. It's a one-off game. So, listen, I'd have loved it, but people say you must be devastated. But would I have felt I earned it? No, I probably wouldn't have done. Even though I played in the earlier rounds and, Olympiacos and all that. But as I said, the final is a final. It's a one-off game. And, I wouldn't have felt like I deserved it anyway.
Well, I know Scott Carson offered the medal, which, I commend him for that. But, he was part of the squad as well. So it would have been like, give one to you and then he wouldn't have one.
Yeah, well, it's not happened up to this day. So maybe you can start. Yeah, maybe you can start something off there. But
so was an amazing final, best European Cup final I've ever watched, probably ever will watch. And for you to be there as well, and watch the lads come back from 3-0. Like, I mean, again, playing for Liverpool, you know, is part of it for you, but being a supporter as well, and just going at 3-0 down, did you just go, that's it?
No, Mel's not tell you this.
No.
We sat next to each other in the stands, me and Mel. So at 3-0 down at half time, saying, listen, we're going to win this. I'm telling you now, we're going to win this. And tried to get a bet on it half time, but there was no signal in the stadium where the stadium was. There was no signal. So I was trying to get my father-in-law to put a bet on for us, but couldn't get through to him. And Mel's like, you're mad, you. This is gone. I was like, listen, I'm telling you, something's going to happen, that we're going to end up winning this. And yeah, it did. Ask Mel's, that's a true story, that. Yeah.
Well, he did tell me the story where, you know, the team had flown back and he missed. Did you miss the parade as well? Yeah,
so there was a couple of planes that went back and yeah, we were delayed for some reason. There was a few of us on it, and then the bus. Yeah, I think Rafa. That's the shout. Rafa just said, "Oh no, come on, we got to go. Let's go." And you know, left a lot of the players. They said, "Oh, they can catch them up and stuff," but we were delayed too long, and the parade had already started. So yeah, we just went home. I think some of the players might have tried to catch up and jump on the bus further down the line, but yeah, it was a big blow like that because, you know, we should have all waited for everybody to get back and go together, which I'm sure wouldn't have happened if Gerard Houllier was still manager. Then I know for a fact that would have happened. We'd have waited until every single player and family was there to go and do that, but it didn't happen under Rafa.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame, you know, this past Champions League final. I mean, yeah, it was horrendous in Paris, and a lot of people probably wouldn't have wanted to go to a parade anyway, but it's one of those where, you know, we had the parade like pretty much the day after. So a lot of people did miss it. You know, it was sad. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where the city only can find a certain day.
Yeah.
Just go there.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously, if we'd have won this one, it'd been even worse because there'd have been people there that had missed, we missed the Premier League, didn't we? Because it was in lockdown. You know, we missed imagine that parade. God dear me, there'd have been millions and millions at it. So we missed that. But yeah, I mean, listen, you got to, from the council point of view and all that, they've got to try and plan it. But yeah, there's got to be something done where it can be planned a little bit better so everybody can enjoy. Hopefully, when we do win something again, because we will do, there's no doubt about that. Hopefully that everyone can get the chance and everyone will see the parade around the city.
Yeah, and I think in the next couple of seasons we'll win the league again. I just think, it's one of those, I hate using the word transition, but it basically is for this season. But, Klopp's not going anywhere. We're going to bring in, fresher players, so I have no doubt it'll happen.
League. Who's to say we're not going to go and win the Champions League this year? Everyone's written us off and all that. And, there's been talking about the top four, which is still going to be extremely tough, but we're on a good run at the minute. But why not? Why can't we win the Champions League again?
Yeah.
Do it the hard way.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think as fans, especially the last 5 years, we've got accustomed to winning. And, you see all these people coming out the woodwork now. They've just been waiting for Liverpool to have a really crap season. Even if they're supposedly Liverpool supporters, they jump on that bandwagon like, Klopp's not doing it, get him out. FSG not doing it, get them out. It does my head in. We've seen it with the United teams. They'll have a lull. How many years has it been for them since winning the league?
It's been a long time, yeah. It looks like they're back now, though, doesn't it? Especially with the new takeover. So I agree. Like, there's too many fickle fans. They'll be praising them and licking players' boots one week, and then if they miss a chance the next week, they're caning them, saying they passed it and all that. So yeah, listen, we've got some great. You get a minority at every club, but the majority of the Liverpool fans, as I said, home and away, they're incredible. But yeah, there is some very fickle fans that do make you laugh sometimes and fume as well at the same time.
Yeah, it's the Twitter brigade that just does my head in. It's keyboard warriors to me. It's just anything. If you win 4 league titles on the spin and you lose a 5th, they'll say, "Oh well, we should have won the 5 on the spin." And people like that, they just leave them to it. Now, Chris, I know we've got about 10 minutes left. I do want to talk about the mental health side of things, because every ex-player that I've talked to, kind of tells me the same thing, especially like the 70s and 80s players. There wasn't somebody for them to talk to. The club was just like, you're out injured. That's it. You're on your own. Now, especially these days, you've got psychologists, psychiatrists, you've got people that can be there for you. How was it, for you? Because your longest out, was it 7 months? Was it the back injury was the longest?
Yeah, knee and back were about the same, 7 months.
That's a long time. For one, if every day, you get up to play football and train, and then all of a sudden you can't. It's like, what do you turn to? You have to have a good circle, a family. That's why, when you said, like Martinez said about like the kids and all that, it's like, well, if you're out injured for that long, at least you have your children and your wife or husband or, whatever, to be there for you. So that's a strange thing for somebody, for a manager, to say to someone.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not until you look back now, when you're going through it, when you're young, like you mentioned, when you're young, you just think, well, I'm young, I'll be back. That's no problem. It's not when you look back now, and listen, it was, thinking back now, would I like to go through that again? Absolutely not. There's a lot of change now, obviously, sports science, everything like that. Injuries are dealt with a lot better now, and there's more chance of them coming back a lot quicker. But it's not just injuries, it's when players retire, they miss the dressing room, they miss the routine. The routine's the biggest thing, for me, from 16 when I was signed for Coventry until I retired through mental health in 35, for 19 years I was told, where to be, your days off, when you holiday, what you eat, when you're travelling, what you wear for matches and all that sort of stuff. And when that routine's gone, then that's when a lot of players, really, really struggle. And they say they're 2 and 3 end up divorced, 2 and 3 end up bankrupt. That's where you need that good family around you. And you need to still do stuff. I need to be active now. I don't necessarily have to work, but I need to, because I know if I don't, that's when I'll really struggle. So you need everyone needs a structure in their life, or a routine, or a purpose to get up in the mornings. It's not when you retire, you can, people say, I'm just going to go on holiday and play golf. There's only so much of that can do. You get bored. You need something now, and that's why the work I do with the Liverpool Foundation and the mental health side of stuff, that really helps me. But as I said, there's still, the last few weeks I've been really bad, down and stuff like that. And, it comes in waves, and, it's not just you that goes through it, it's the families that go through it as well. So, I'll be going back into counselling this week and having counselling sessions again, just to keep me on the straight and narrow. Because I think once you've suffered with it, you'll always be susceptible to it, unless you set things, and have a routine and have things that you can go and talk to people if you need to. So that'll be me now, probably for the foreseeable future, for sure.
Now, is that where, like, the pain addiction came?
I think it's more now. The tablets of, the 10-year painkiller addiction have obviously they change the way you think, and they make you very paranoid at times. And then when I've stopped now, obviously it's been over 10 months. It was 10 months Sunday, I think it was the 18th or Saturday. But your brain's still like, the serotonin levels are still low, because that's what the painkillers do. They lower that. So the serotonin levels have got to get back up. But they say between 18 months and 2 years for them to sort of balance itself out. But they do. It's like any addiction. It changes you into a different person you were before. Now you can get back to that person you were before, and hopefully a better person. And I'm sure I will. And there's the last 6 months have been great. The last few weeks have been tough. I've not felt motivated. It's been tough getting up and doing stuff, even though I've got a routine. It's just, but listen, I'm not the only one in the world that'll be like that. But I know now what, I've got to get back to talking again and practicing what I preach, basically, which I will do. I've had a great day today, been really busy, and had a real good day today. And I know that's what I've got to get back to now.
Well, I think,
not just, as I said, not just for me, but for the family as well, for my wife and my daughter, and because they've suffered with it as well. Anyone that goes through addiction, the people that live with addiction, with that person, it's just as hard, if not probably harder for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the pandemic, you saw the mental health rise because of the pandemic, and it's a weird one because we talk about this, and there's some people like, well, it gave me the chance to spend more time with my family and get to know, kind of re-energize, the family again. And then you've got other people going, it put me in a darker place.
I think I think it affected people in two kind of ways, like you said, but I think the latter one certainly outweighs the former. I think some people have been glad of the time off and stuff, but not 2 years. No, at the start, everyone was like, oh, this is great, a few weeks and we can do nothing and brilliant. But then, it damaged a lot of people. I don't speak to anyone that says that they didn't go through a tough time during lockdown. And there'll be some people that probably did love it and they're fine and they don't suffer with mental health. But I think 90% of people that went through that lockdown would have suffered during them 2 years and are still suffering now from it. I think there's a lot of people that have not recovered from it. Mm-hmm. I got COVID really, really bad. I've had it 5 times, actually. I was triple jab, double jab when I first got it, and nearly, if I wouldn't have been double jabbed, I don't think I'd be here now. For 6 months, I was gone, and I'm still feeling the effects of it now. Long COVID, and people say there's no such thing as long COVID. I'm telling you, there is, because I get the brain fog, I get the fatigue, I get all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of people that will still be having ongoing effects from it, which obviously affects your mental health.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it too. I've had the jabs and everything, and it hit me pretty hard. I mean, all my kids got it, but they're so resilient as children. Like within 48 hours, they were fine. It took me 2 weeks to feel semi-normal, and it's just one of those where at first everybody's gets used to being at home. And after a couple of months, you're just you're going stir crazy.
It was Groundhog Day, weren't it? Every day was Groundhog Day, weren't it? It was like it was like you were watching a film, that Contagion film. It was like that was happening, really. But it was you just routine. There was no routine, was there? You just woke up when you woke up. You got out of bed when you wanted to. You watched Netflix, and it was Groundhog Day. After the first, like you said, probably couple of months, it was hard, really hard, really, really hard. And then the news was worse, didn't it? Turning on the news every day, hoping for good news. In the end, you stopped watching it because you knew it was just going to be bad news. So you never even turned the TV on in the end.
Yeah, and football wasn't football. I mean, football without fans.
I honestly never, and I probably watched 2 games during that lockdown, and I just couldn't. It was upsetting to watch because it just wasn't football. It just wasn't, I just didn't. I watched 2 games and that was it. I thought I can't watch this not because I didn't want to support Liverpool, but I just thought this is just upsetting. Even it's making me even worse watching this.
Yeah, exactly. And when they had the the TV screen with the fans who was even worse. I mean, it was like watching a really cheap reality show. I guess the good side is the only good side I found from football is you could actually hear like Hendo and the players like actually talking and screaming at each other.
Carroll weren't still playing.
Huh?
Good job Carroll weren't still playing.
Yeah, I know.
I needed to mute the TV a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of beeping going on, but it wasn't football, and I was the same. I just couldn't watch it. There was a handful of games I watched. I'm glad I watched the West Brom match where Alisson scored. That was great. I mean, whenever you have a goalkeeper score a goal, I mean, and what a goal it was.
Yeah.
You know, to put us in the Champions League, and it was a striker's goal. It was brilliant. I also wanted to ask you, because I know you're big on LFC Foundation and the food banks. You know, again,
yeah, by the way,
I've always said, you know, this day and age, we shouldn't have food banks. It's terrible. Everybody should have a right to eat, and you know, especially Scousers as well. It's tough for them, you know, to have to stand in a line, and you know, be.
It's got worse as well. Like you said, I mean, during lockdown, at the start of lockdown, I was delivering food to houses and stuff with Daisy UK and a couple of others as well, and I was turning up to the houses, and it become a bit of, so my timings were similar every week, so they knew when I was going to turn up. So there'd be kids waiting on the doorstep for this food I was bringing them, and you know, they'd not be enclosed, they'd just be waiting for this food, and it was hard. Like, but I was thinking, right, well, you know, it's upsetting, but if you don't deliver this food, they're not going to have any. But they were waiting on the doorstep with the door open, and I've always been, well, I've never been late, so they knew exactly within 3 or 4 minutes when I was going to turn up, and they'd be waiting on the doorstep for the food. And then since then it's gone tenfold. I mean, I'm talking at the start of the pandemic. So since then, over the last couple of years, it's I mean, we do sessions sometimes, and I do coaching sessions, and we'll give them like biscuits and stuff like that, and they'll be putting the biscuits in the pockets, and you know, we'd say, oh, you can eat them now and stuff, and they'll say, no, I want to take it home for my sister, or I want to take it home for my dad because they don't have anything to eat. So it's the world we live in. But these food banks do an incredible job, and as hard as it is, they know that they're doing some good in the world, and I take my hat off to them. They say, I only do I don't do hardly anything. You know, I try and raise money for them, and I've been down to them a few times and stuff. But particularly S Food Banks, I know the hard work they do, and without places like that now, just imagine how it would be without places like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ian Byrne and Dave Evertonian fan support food banks are absolutely amazing. You know, again, it makes you cry to see these kids, because you know
you can't help your own kid, can't you? You can't help thinking, what if that was my kid?
Exactly.
And the thought of you not being able to feed your own child, the thought of me not being able to feed my daughter or I just don't know how you like. You just can't imagine that, can you? It's like the thought of that is just, it's devastating. Devastating.
Well, I mean, the world we live in, especially like the UK, you know, at a point where, like, should I turn the heater on and be warm, or can I put some food on the table?
I'll tell you what, it's gone worse. Yeah, I mean, my wife went to Tesco today to get some, and the shelves are empty. Like, it's actually like getting food now with everything that's gone on with Brexit and all that sort of stuff. You know, you go and try and get certain, and you can't actually get certain. So it's going both ways now as well. It's like, it's mad. Like, considering where we were before COVID to how things have changed, like in many, many ways, the world we live in at the minute is just bonkers, isn't it? It's just a scary, scary place.
It is, and I think, you know, that's why we, you know, kind of take 90 minutes out of our day to watch the footy, and just to, you know, use it as escapism. And I think watching Liverpool as well, you know, I'm a 70s kid, so you know, I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows, I've seen the highs again. It's just what we live for, and you know, escapism to everyday life, to watch these players, you know, just kick a round ball, you know, but gives us so much joy, but also pisses us off.
Sing You Never Walk Alone, that's the one. Whenever that comes on, you just it's just every time it comes on now, it just gives you shivers, doesn't it, down the spine. It's just going to Anfield, I must admit, that's one of my favourite things, just for You Never Walk Alone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, but again, you know, my granddad took me, and just going to the pub, you know, and when I was there, you know, 14, 15, having my first shandy in the pub with my granddad, and then walking up to Anfield and just seeing everybody just, getting ready for the game. And yeah, it does. Every time that song, my hair stand up. And, if you watched the Newcastle game, I didn't understand afterwards. A lot of Newcastle fans were basically really pissed off because, our supporters were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" for Atsu, but they didn't quite understand.
I think they were doing on, I'm sure that happened at the Derby, because it was James Bulger's 30th, weren't it, during the Merseyside Derby?
Yeah. Yep.
And the Liverpool fans started singing that, and there was boos. So I'm not sure they understood what they were doing that for. But yeah, it wasn't very nice, was it? Because it's common sense, isn't it, when people are singing that, and it's for a special reason, that just get behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And there was just, again, like, the Twitter brigade, there was just some vile stuff, calling Liverpool fans dirty rats. Like, I just, again, Chris, I just feel like the toxicity is getting worse and worse with the football chants, and especially, well, because you're from around Leicester. We had Leicester fans singing, about the news and stuff, while Liverpool supporters, when we did play Leicester away, brought food to the food banks there. Yeah. I'm just like, where does this come from? I mean, there's tribalism, right? I understand tribalism, banter, but that's not banter.
No, I think you're never going to stop this. I just think most of it now is they're just doing it for the sake of it. I don't think half of them don't even realise what they're actually singing or what it actually means. I think they're just jumping. Kids going to go, or teenagers, let's sing this, it'll be a laugh. And they don't actually know the history behind of what they're doing, or the songs that they're singing about. They don't know the history about it. A lot of them don't. Some of them do, don't get me wrong, and people know exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it because they're vile people, simple as that. But it's a culture in now, and it's jump on the old bandwagon. Let's just sing because they're singing, when I don't really know what I'm singing about or saying.
Yeah, so it's just really.
Yeah, you're never gonna stop that. Unfortunately, that's just the society we live in.
Well, let's leave on a good note. Favourite moment as a Liverpool player?
Just making my debut, like I said, walking out, looking, to where I used to stand as a kid, and like I said, I still do that every game now. I always look over, and I can see myself, and but yeah, making my debut for Liverpool will never be beat ever.
Well, you can't beat that. Chris, thanks, for spending some time with me. Again, please, not just Liverpool, but anywhere that you live that has food banks, please go donate to them, whether it be money or food. Also check into the LFC Foundation that does amazing work for the community. But again, Chris, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Take care. I hope you don't get too hot out in Texas for you.
Well, like I said, I just stay indoors, or I try and find the nearest pool.
We're out in America. We're coming out to Disneyland in July. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm terrible in the heat. But
suntan lotion, lots of water. You'll be good.
I'll have plenty of that. Don't worry.
All right, mate. I appreciate it.
No worries. Take care. Stay safe.